Hello and welcome to Veterans of the Valley. I'm Tom Turbeville. Recently, Veterans of the Valley told the story of Navy Seabee Mike Guidry, his 6-month tour of Iraq at Fallujah and Al-Assad. One of his jobs in Iraq was to tell the story of the 28th Seabees. He published a newsletter. He produced, he filmed, and edited a 2-hour video that indeed puts a face on these particular men and women who served in Operation Iraqi Freedom. I suspect that it's representative of most all who serve in the war, the pride, the work ethic, and the humor that it takes to battle the fierce desire to soon be back with their families. Over the next 2 weeks of Veterans of the Valley, Mike Guidry will share with you some of this remarkable video of the 28th Seabees. Mike, this is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to this. We've never done anything quite like this on Veterans of the Valley. Talk a little bit about the video in general and sort of the idea of doing it and the equipment that you used a little bit, and sort of was it a real hassle to get the guys and the men and the women to buy into this, to do the skits and all of that?
Everything was spontaneous. Nothing was planned, except for there was a few skits that were planned, but this was very much further into the tour. You know, there was probably 3 hours total of footage that we did during an entire 6-month deployment. It all started out with just me taking my video camera. I would just filming for myself. And then there was Admiral Phillips, which we'll see later on, a salute to him. That's where the skipper approached me and said, let's do a salute to him. And that's what started all. You know, it just turned out to be so well done. But it was just a simple Sony, just plain video camera that I took, using a Macintosh Pro 17-inch laptop, which included your iDVD, iMovie. That's what I used, and I've had no experience, and just kind of taught myself that. But that Mac Pro was provided by my father, Joe Guidry, by the way. So that's how we got it done.
It's a great production. Let's get right to it, as a matter of fact, because we got a lot to watch. This first segment that you're going to see, I'm going to introduce you right off the bat to a fellow named Kevin Geegan. And this guy is a funny fellow. You're going to see a lot of him in the next couple of weeks. Also a slideshow of some of the people that served with Mike. And I want you to note especially the audio that's under the opening credits. Very, very impressive. Let's go ahead right now to segment number 1 of Mike Guidry's video.
Good morning. I'm Captain Corbella. This is my last stand. You see that sign right there? You see Seabee 28? I built that sign. I built that battalion. When I was this tall, and I am this tall, I was in that battalion. I marched every day to get where I'm at. I fixed and I repaired. Can do. The things that you're about to see in this little video, in this clip, is very serious. Take it serious. No man left behind. If they're left at that corner, what do you think they're gonna happen to them? They're gonna die. Go get them, wagon wheel. Always go back and get them. Leave no man behind. I'm Captain Corbella, and I'm giving you a direct order. Master Chief, get this thing going!
This has all the extraordinarily well-coordinated and devastating terrorist attack. Terrorism against our nation will not stand. The government will hunt down those responsible.
Terrorism means striking terror into the hearts of people. That has been accomplished. Looking in awe, amazement, shock, grief, and anger at what they were seeing in front of them.
A billow of smoke rising. Good Lord. There was a cascade. There are no words. And we see this extraordinarily and frightening scene behind us. This is just a horrific scene, and
there are times in our lives that are life-changing, where your life can never be the same, and this appears certainly to be one of them.
last picture you may recognize the President of the United States, and I guess that was one of the special visits that he made, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we had no idea he was coming in. Someone spied Air Force One on the tarmac. They have what's called a River City, where if there's a fatality, they shut down all communications going outside, and that went down, and security was really tight. So, nobody could say, hey, the president's here once people did find out. So.
Right. Well, we remember that here. It was one of those things where we woke up and the news said, hey, the president's in Iraq. Nobody, the media didn't know he was going. They all was just told, get on the plane, we're going somewhere. So who's Corbella, who Kevin Geoghegan in the opening of that thing was depicting?
There. Yeah. It's now Captain Corbella. He was our old CO back from around 2003 when we first had our original deployment back in 2003. And Kevin, just spending a year with the man, he'll just get into your mindset. He'll study the character and just imitate him just constantly, and that's how that all developed. So there he is, doing a Commander Corbella, Captain Corbella now, who everybody knows, that's with the Seabees. He's a very well-known and respected man.
Well, when you're talking about morale, you need people like Kevin Geoghegan, obviously, around. And as a matter of fact, in this next segment, we're going to have more fun with Kevin Geoghegan, and also going to be watching some video that Mike took of the initial flight to Germany and then to Kuwait on their way to Iraq. So let's go ahead and get going with more from Mike Guidry's video in Iraq.
Ready to go. We're gonna go. Got a lot of guys on the plane that's never been. I'm the commander and I'm taking them there. I'm gonna bring everybody back. No alcohol, 2 beers if you get one. Don't leave anybody behind. Hut hand, hut. That's the chief, front and center. That is all. Turn that camera off. We don't need that.
We're getting this sauna, or the Whirlpool sent to us over there. $900, it's $50 per person. So we'll have a little hot tub.
Hi, Mom. I say I'm in Germany. I say what all these little old chickens right here. And I say, boy, I say we gotta get on the plane there, chicken. Cause Mr. Rooster's there. I say, we wanna get on the plane. Now, I'm gonna go with Yosemite. Now, I'm telling you, critter, we've gotta get on this plane and stop them messing around here. It's cold out here. Yeah. Come on, Marvin. Oh, Mr. Rabbit!
Put your pants back on.
Mike Guidry told me earlier that on this particular flight, the initial flight, Mike, that to Germany and then to Kuwait, maybe the reality had not set in with the people exactly the chapter in their lives that they were about to go. But then later on, I think next week, we're going to see a segment where they're on the troop plane actually going, and that's where it was really hitting people a little bit more. But talk about sort of what we just saw, obviously more Kevin Geoghegan, but the passenger plane, and still there was some reality there too, right?
Sure, that was, we left out of Port Hueneme, California, Florida up the East Coast and on over to Germany, which was where that stop was at.
Right.
And yeah, it was exciting. It was like a normal flight over. What was interesting, we all had our weapons with us.
Yeah.
No ammunition, of course. So that was, kind of interesting. That's where reality started to kind of settle in there as well.
Yeah. Did y'all really get the hot tub that he was talking about?
No, unfortunately not. We had it on order, but they never sent it over. I don't know
It
what
never
happened
sent it
there.
over. It's probably still in transit somewhere,
But
right?
But as Seabees, we were able to make our own hot tub.
Yeah.
So it
Or
worked
maybe
out.
the 28th that are there right now, they're enjoying your hot tub. Is that possible?
Tom, I didn't think about that. You're probably right.
You probably are. Next thing that we're going to see, this is Al-Assad. This is one of your chapters that we move a little bit on into the chapter. This is Al-Assad, sort of a view from from up above. Where were you standing? Where did you
This
film
was on
this
the roof of our. I really shouldn't say, but
right,
it was
okay.
up on the roof inside, in our camp.
Right. Well, it's a great view of the camp of Al-Assad, and also we're going to go on in a religious ceremony at something called the Oasis.
The Oasis.
Let's go ahead and go to it, let people see it, and then when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about what we saw. So here is the next segment of the video from Al-Assad. The swamp, the oasis. Well, it looked like a swamp.
Yes.
Tell us about that. There was a communion ceremony going on
Yes.
there, Holy Communion.
That was a Easter Mass celebration last year in 2007. Yes,
Right.
and what the historical significance is, it's a biblical area. That's where Abraham conceived and Sarah conceived their children. Was
see.
at that exact location.
Wow.
So a lot of historical significance there.
What a great place for a religious ceremony. We were looking at it, and you told me the facility that looked like a stadium, a football stadium.
Yes.
That is a very significant place. Talk
That one's
about
very significant. That is the soccer stadium where, I believe in 1998, Saddam Hussein invited his soccer team out there, who had just lost the Pan Am Games,
Right.
and executed all of them. It was actually Uday and Qusay, one of his sons, were the ones that executed the entire soccer team, but it was on that field right there.
where that happened.
And that was on Al-Assad.
Coming up next, this is fun. This is a spoof on the movie Office Space. One of my favorite movies. One of your favorite movies, too. So where'd you come up with this idea?
That was someone had a copy of that video,
Movie,
and we were like, man, we started thinking about it, and our job in the COC was exactly like Office Space. You know, because you have, if you make one mistake, you've got the command master chief comes to you, the CO comes to you, the XO, everybody comes to you and tells you, reminds you the exact same thing. And then you get a phone call, hey. So we decided to do a skit with that.
Well, if you've seen the movie Office Space, you'll really appreciate this, and even if you haven't, you'll like it too. Let's go to the video.
Just a moment. NMCB 28 COC Corte speaking. Just a moment.
Hello, Guidry. What's happening? We have sort of a problem here. Here's you did not put the new cover sheets on your Seabee on the move report.
Oh, yes, sir. Sorry about that. I forgot.
Yeah, well, we're putting cover sheets on all the Seabees on the move reports. Did you see the new SOP on this?
Yes, sir. I have the new SOP right here in my inbox. I just forgot, but I haven't sent one out to the 30th, so there's no problem.
Yeah. Well, if you could just make sure you do that from now on, that would be great. And I'll make sure you get another copy of that SOP.
Oh, no, sir, that would be
Hoorah,
sir.
Guidry.
Like I said, I've got one here in my inbox. Hey, Solo, can you turn it down a little bit?
But I was told by Limon that I could listen to it at a reasonable volume.
Okay, but as a personal favor, you know, as a friend, could you turn it down a little bit?
But I don't understand because I told Limon that if Stanley could be listening to it, then I should be able to listen to it.
You know what?
And besides, it's my lunch hour.
Hey, Petty Security, what's happening?
Hey, Skipper.
We need to talk about your Seabees on the move.
Yes, the cover letters. The S3's already talked to me about it, sir.
Okay, because we're putting cover letters on them now.
Yes, sir. I understand that. I understand the procedure. I received the SOP, and nothing was forwarded out to the 30th, so it's not even going to be a problem.
Okay, it's just from now on we're putting cover letters on the Seabee on the move report, so if you could try to remember to do that, that'd be great.
That was a lot of fun. As a matter of fact, coming up in the next video is going to be sort of another spoof on another TV show. It's not Late Night with David Letterman. This was going to be called Late Night with the Skipper. And as Mike was referring to a little bit earlier, also a salute to Admiral Phillips. And this is quite an inventive part of the video coming up right now. So why don't we go ahead right now. This is Late Night with the Skipper, followed by the salute to Admiral Phillips. Here we go.
And that's our top 10 list tonight of top 10 things to do in Al Asad on a hot day. Well, anyway, my next guest is EO2 Mark Guidry. And,
Mike, sir.
Right, Mark Guidry. And he's come here to talk a little bit about what he's been doing, and let's have him on. Mark Guidry, everybody. All right. So tell me, Mark.
It's Mike, sir.
Right, Mike. Okay. How long have you been with us here in Al Asad?
Been here for approximately a little over 6 months now.
Wow, that's a long time. Does it seem like a long time?
No, absolutely not. It's just been flying by, sir.
Flying by.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's great. Well, so what have you been doing while you've been here?
Well, I'm working the COC, of course, and tracking movements, tracking...
COC, does everybody know what the COC is?
Combat Operations Center.
Right, okay. All right, yeah, we get hung up with the acronyms sometimes. Forget that, not everybody knows what we're talking about. But okay, so
Yes.
COC, yeah.
COC, and of course I'm doing the PAO position, Public Affairs position.
There you go.
And
What does the public affairs involve?
Public Affairs involves photography, documentation of the deployment through photographs, as well as documenting what we're doing on film, and also I'm doing just anything with dealing with artwork, the command coins, which I've developed,
Right.
and
really done a nice job, I want to say. I bought a couple myself, and they're going to turn out good.
very well.
and cruise book as well.
Good, good. Also a monthly newsletter?
Monthly newsletter.
Great, great. Now, as I understand it, you didn't start out here in Alisad, is that correct?
That's correct. I started out in Camp Fallujah, actually.
Wow, that place is a pit, isn't it?
There wasn't all the...
I'm sorry, did I offend anybody from Fallujah out there? I'm just kidding. It's a great place. Great place. My wife's from Fallujah.
Just over here, you constantly look over at
Good, good. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Now, I understand you, is part of your... Oh, let me ask you one thing I'm kind of curious about. You're in an EO2.
Correct.
That's an equipment operator.
That's correct.
And when's the last time you operated some equipment, Mike?
1998.
Whoa! Maybe range. They're crazy. Okay, great, great. Now, in your PAO job,
yes.
I understand you worked on a little something for Admiral Phillips.
That's correct. We did it was an Admiral Phillips retirement party that was going on, and I was approached to film a documentary or a little skit with that, and we came up with a little something. In fact, I think we have a clip of that.
Do we have a clip? Can we roll it? Let's roll that one. All right, great. Roll the clip. Hi, I'm Commander Craig Sharpen with NMCB-28 in Alisad, Iraq. Master Chief Fletcher, Exo Gardner, and I would like to salute Admiral Phillips for his 32 years of distinguished service to the Navy. Salute! Alpha Company. Salute!
Admin Department.
Salute!
Armory! Salute! Echo Company. Salute!
Ops Department. Salute!
Flag Department. Salute!
Medical Department.
Salute! Chapel. Salute! Combat Operations Center. Salute!
Can you hear me now? Good. Communications platoon. Salute!
Hello, I'm Commander Craig Sharpen from NMCB-28 at Alisad, Iraq. Please join Master Chief Fletcher, Exo Gardner, myself, and the men and women of NMCB-28 as we sing the Seabee song to commemorate Admiral Phillips' 32 years of distinguished service to the United States Navy. We're the Seabees of the Navy. We can build and we can fly. We'll pave our way to victory and guard it day and night. And we promise to remember
The 7th of December.
we're the Seabees of the Navy
And the Air Force.
Bees of the 7 seas.
Hey, we're about out of time, but we've got a whole new show next week with more of the video. So be sure and tune in next week for more of the video from Alisad. For Mike Guidry, I'm Tom Turbeville. Join us next week, more video right here on Veterans of the Valley.